Swallows are among the most acrobatic birds in the world. They can fly upside down, turn inside out, and fly through extremely narrow spaces with ease. But why are swallows such masters of the sky? Well, it all comes down to one very special adaptation: their skeletons. Hi, and welcome to this channel. You may think that a bird's skeleton is pretty much just like any other bird's skeleton, but swallow skeletons have a secret. They're actually more flexible than other bird skeletons. Their bones are lighter and thinner with larger joints, giving them a wider range of motion. And one bone in particular is much more flexible than the others: the wishbone or furcula. This bone sits at the center of a bird's chest, connecting the two halves of the sternum or breastbone together. Most birds have a wishbone that's relatively rigid, but swallows have an extra flexible one, which allows them to fly in ways that other birds simply can't. You see, the wishbone acts like a spring. When a swallow takes off, the bone stores energy by bending slightly. Then, as the swallow flies, the bone releases that energy, helping the bird take off and fly longer distances. A flexible wishbone also helps swallows maneuver in the air. While flying, swallows can twist their bodies into all sorts of shapes. The flexibility in their wishbone allows them to keep their balance even when they upside down or flying backwards. But how do we know that swallow bones are actually more flexible than other bird bones? Well, back in 2014, researchers from the University of Akron in Ohio decided to find out. They collected 36 dead swallows from a wildlife rehabilitation center. They chose a variety of different swallow species in both adult and fledgling birds. Then they compared the flexibility of swallow bones to the bones of other songbirds, like blue jays, robins, and starlings. To measure the flexibility, the researchers took X-ray images of each bird's skeleton, and then they put each skeleton in a vise and pulled on each bird's legs until the bones broke. They found that the swallow's bones were not only lighter than the other birds' bones, but they were also thinner and had larger joints. And when they looked closely at the wishbones, they saw that swallows had more flexible joints, where the wishbone connected to the rest of the skeleton. These flexible joints allowed the wishbone to bend further before it hit the limits of its range of motion. In other words, swallow wishbones were up to 3 times more flexible than the other birds' wishbones. And these flexible wishbones allow swallows to perform aerial acrobatics that other birds can only dream of. For example, swallows can fly completely upside down. Just look at this. Swallow performing for its dinner. It uses its feet to push itself off the ground, and then twists its body over its head so that it's hanging upside down. Then it takes off and flies around in this position. See, swallows have flexible spines, which allows them to twist their bodies into all sorts of shapes while they're flying. And their flexible wishbones help them keep their balance as they do this. Being able to fly upside down gives swallows many advantages. For one, it allows them to access food sources that other birds can't reach. For example, some swallows specialize in catching termites. And to do that, they need to be able to fly upside down inside termite mounds. Being able to fly upside down also allows swallows to escape predators. After all, most predators aren't able to fly upside down, so it's a great way for swallows to get away from hawk-like predators. Swallows are also amazing at flying through extremely narrow spaces. Take a look at this swallow flying through a small gap between 2 buildings. If it were any narrower, it wouldn't be able to fit its wings. As you can see, swallows' wings are relatively large, which makes it easy for them to maneuver in the air. And the flexibility in their bodies allows them to twist their wings into all sorts of shapes so that they can fit into really small spaces. So the next time you see a swallow flying through the air, take a moment to appreciate the amazing adaptations that allow them to be such masters of the sky. Thanks for watching.